Hi guys, my name's Doyle. I'm 26 years old from Belfast, currently living and working in Hereford in the United Kingdom. I've been a professional archaeologist since 2004 after completing my degree in archaeology and paleoecology at the Queen's University of Belfast, where I spent many wonderful years as a student archaeologist. My area of archaeological expertise is in site excavation and site recording itself, which I'm sure you guys will appreciate as one of the most important aspects of archaeology. I find site excavation extremely exciting because it affords me the chance as an archaeologist to basically meet people from the past. It's like when we put our trowel on the ground, it's like opening up a history book. You know, it's history come to life, if you will. I mean, from the smallest flint artifact, we can gather that there was a hunting party or a tribe in this area who were hunting game and foraging for around. Or you find a piece of pottery and it's from a cooking pot, and you'd realise that a medieval wife 400 or 500 years ago was cooking food for her husband and her family. It's this blend of practicality and getting our hands dirty and theoretical reasoning and thinking about the items, the artefacts, and analysing our data and the relationships between them that I find make archaeology such a fascinating subject. And if I can impart some of this enthusiasm to the general public instead of just harassing my friends and family about the job, then I'd really love to come along on this trip of a lifetime. I believe archaeology should not be kept in the past but should be brought into the future for the public to enjoy. As I said, I'm living and working in Hereford at the moment, and the next part of my audition will take you to a site in Hereford and tell you a little bit about that.
Behind me lies one of historical Hereford's hidden gems. Beneath the neatly trimmed grasses, a manicured bowling green and tree-lined fringes lies the fascinating and often gruesome history of Hereford's Castle Green. A castle has stood in this position since 1046. It was most likely an earth and timber structure. This castle was destroyed in 1055 when the marauding Welsh invaded Hereford. The castle was rebuilt after the conquest in 1067 by William Fitzosborne. This castle was also the subject of many Welsh attacks, but it was here, on Castle Green, where one of the most gruesome acts in Hereford's history took place. It was during the civil war between King Stephen and Empress Matilda that in 1139 the castle here was garrisoned by troops loyal to King Stephen and was under siege by supporters of Empress Matilda, who had occupied the cathedral behind me. Lord Talbot and his men constructed siege engines upon the tower and continued to besiege the castle. They advanced upon Castle Green as the siege continued, and this is where the tale takes a gruesome twist. It was at this very spot that Lord Talbot and his men began to construct a rampart against the castle wall. This might not seem out of the ordinary in siege warfare, but one has to consider that this was also the site of St Guthlaic's monastery and contained a 7th century cemetery that was still in use right up throughout the period of the Civil War. It has been reported that these works were accompanied by the cries and lamentations of the townsfolk because the earth of their kinsfolk's graveyard was being heaped up to form a rampart, and they could see a cruel sight: the bodies of parents and relatives, some half rotten, some quite lately buried, piteously dragged from the depths. This is quite a harrowing sight in any situation, but is made much worse by the fact that Lord Talbot and his men reportedly launched bodies using siege engines into the castle. This is just a small snippet of the history that lies beneath our feet at Castle Green, and recent excavations continue to fill us with intrigue and wonder in the archaeology of this fascinating historic area of Hereford.
To travel to Egypt on this project would be the adventure of a lifetime for me. It would allow me to travel to Egypt for the very first time, but not as a tourist, as an archaeologist. I would get to meet and work alongside archaeologists from all around the world and gain hands-on experience in Egyptian archaeology, something I'm sure every archaeologist has dreamt about at some point in their career. To be a part of this project would also allow me to meet and work alongside Dr. Zahi Hawass, a man who obviously needs no introduction, and I believe he was once referred to as the most well-known Egyptian after King Tut. It would be an absolute privilege to work alongside the man who's done so much for Egyptian archaeology and archaeology as a whole. Finally, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to audition for a part on this project team. If I gained this part, it would be something I'd be telling my grandchildren and everybody about for the rest of my life. So I'd like to thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you in the very near future. Bye.